Okay, I kind of hate using the GoPro because I can't really see what you guys can see. But for part 3, we're going to start with this body here. And we're going to do parts 1 and 2. Like I showed you guys in videos, part 1 and 2 on this one. You can see right here where it's cracked. It's split. And you can see it's dirty. You can see where the tires are rubbing. So if you watch videos, part 1 of this series, part 1 and part 2, I'll put a link up here. But first we want to clean all this off. And to do that, we just want to wash it down with water and soap. Then we want to take some all-purpose cleaner, spray it down, get any grease and oils off of it, and then take it again, rinse it with water, make sure it's all nice and dry. So we'll go do all that right now, and we'll be back here in just a second with it all cleaned up. Okay, I've got my body all cleaned up, it's dry. See, I got all the dirt off of it, got all the soapy residue off of it from where I washed it. So the first thing I want to do is, if you look here, you can see where the tires have rubbed through the body. Again, you can see how I took care of that in part 1 of this series. So, but first thing I want to do, like I said, I want to touch that up. And do that a couple different ways. You see I got a variety of stuff laying over here. You can take some spray paint. This is flat black spray paint. I don't have gloss. But you can take some spray paint and go over that. It won't blend in perfectly, but it won't stick out that bad. You can take these paint markers here that I have over here. I keep a bunch of these around the house. And they come in a variety of different colors. You can use that for touching up something like this detail kind of work. Small areas, you want to touch them up. You can see right here, I should have touched them up before I worked on that one. So since I really don't feel like messing with the spray paint right now, I'm going to take the paint marker, go over all these with the paint marker. I'll show you guys what that looks like when I'm done. Okay, so I took the paint marker, touched it up. Touched up quite a few spots where the tire was rubbing. Tire was rubbing here. Tire was rubbing here. Tire was rubbing here, here, and here. Touched up a couple other spots that I could see through the body when I held it up to the light. On the edges where it's been rubbed on here. Tire was rubbing here too. Tire was rubbing here. Again, that's taken care of in part 1. But if you hold the car body over, you can't even tell that I took a paint marker and touched it all up. There's a hole here, which I'll fix. But, you know, if you look at it where the tire was rubbing, where the clear spots are, back here, you can't even see. You can't even see. And all I did was take a paint marker, touch it up. Okay, so for the next part, that's that. So next, I'm going to take some white flat enamel spray paint. I'm going to paint all this over so that it looks good from the inside. Protects that paint a little bit that I just put on there. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the clear coat. So we'll go do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got 2 coats of clear enamel, or white enamel on this, 2 coats. I'm not going to use the clear. I'm not going to use this. I think that'll be good enough. You can see it looks real good. It looks almost like new. Flip it over. It's still a little wet. Flip it over, you can see, you can't see where I repaired the tires on it. Rub marks and stuff you can see through. It looks good. I did get a little paint right here on the body, but we'll touch that up here in a little bit. I don't want to mess with it now while it's still wet. So we're going to let this cure for a couple days, let it set up, get good and cured. Then I'm going to do what I did in part 1, Lexan RC body repair, strengthen and reinforce part 1. I'm going to put these washers on here. I'm not going to show you guys how to do that. You can watch a video. I'll put a card up here, a link for part 1 and part 2. And I'm also going to go around them. I'll put this edge trim on here. If you guys haven't seen that video, that helps with these edge splits right here that you see. Then in part 2, Lexan RC body reinforce, strengthen and repair part 2, I took clear silicone and showed you guys how to touch these brakes up right here. I'm going to do that to this one. We'll do that to this one. I'm going to skip over that, and then when next time you see this car, it'll have all that stuff done. It'll look like this one, and then we'll get on to how to take care of this so this don't happen again and it lasts longer. Okay, so I've got my vehicle prepared just like I did in part 1 and part 2 of this series. I put it on the body or the chassis to make sure that it fits right, make sure I don't have to make any modifications. Everything fits good, no problem. We'll slide this out of the way, we're done with it. So we'll flip this over. You can see I've got my body washers in place. I've got my edge trim all the way around it. I've got silicone where the cracks are, so the body's in good shape now. All right, so now I'll show you guys the main part of part 3 of this. So hold on just a second and we'll get everything around. Okay, so for this part, we're just going to use 100% silicone. This is Dynaflex. This is white. I chose white because the body's white. It won't show up as much. Or the inside's white. And so all we're going to do, put this in here. Cut the tip off. I want to point out when you guys go to do this, you want to cut the tip pretty big. Cut the tip pretty big, and you're going to want to start on the inside and work your way out. Need something to poke this. See, it's white. We'll wipe it off. Again, when you go to do this, you're going to want something to put down on your workbench. I don't recommend newspaper, but a piece of cardboard or something like that would work. You're going to want some gloves. Put a bead and we'll start in the middle and work our way out. Okay, so that's pretty much done. We're gonna let this set up, let it dry, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it dries. This is the body that I did used in part 1 and part 2 of this series. I also went ahead and put clear silicone on the bottom of it so it lasts. I used white on this one, of course, as you just seen. So you're going to want to hit the subscription and notification bell, because on part 4 I'm going to take this body here, and it's pretty much got some splits and cracks in it back here with some rub marks in here, and I'm going to do that in a different way than I did these two, so you're not going to miss that in part 4. Please leave some comments. I always appreciate that. We always check them out. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your hobby, and we'll see you in the next video.